Hello everyone and welcome to Scrap Saturdays. I hope you're all doing well. This is my first layout with the Mila kit for October. And I sat down in one, what do you call it? I don't know. One sequence? No. I don't know. You know what I mean. I sat down and then I didn't get up after like 5 layouts and I freaking love it. Love it. So I'm just showing you here at the beginning, if you saw those embossed cardstock pieces of paper I used, and these are my envelopes that I created too. Aren't they so cute? I used all of the Felicity Jane papers to create not only the embossed background paper that you see there. I won't use the screen one. I'm going to change it out. Yes, I'm going to use this one. And I have like a vine type looking one where it looks like vines, you know, just vines. And then I have the Swiss dots, which I don't know if you guys remember all the rage of having the Swiss dots embossing folder. And I have the big Swiss dots, the baby Swiss dots. I have the xoxoxo trio. And that's what I did. I just did polka dots because I thought it was the most, I don't know, matched with the paper the most, right? And again, I've been looking through all of my dies and trying to really like break out of a rut and pick new things and use the stuff in my craft room. So I really encourage you. I know that a whole bunch of us have the same things because we all kind of bought the same things together. And so this is a photograph of myself. And this is, you know, in my journey and quest of self-love. Yes. And I'm going to read my journaling to you first so that I can get into my, you know, spiel of motivation, I think. And what I write on the journaling card that goes into the pocket there of that striped, beautiful, it's like a sagey green. These greens are not, you know, they're just so beautiful. It almost have like a blue-gray tone background to them. And again, of course, everything matches. So what I wrote on the tag, or what I typed out on the tag, was, always wanted to get my nose pierced and never did. That child, the one that follows all the rules, finding no form of expression. Always listening, the fear of bad. The bad one in the family adding to the madness. Because if I listen, then things would not happen, right? One of the few last conversations I had with my mother was, I want to get my nose pierced. And she finally said, you should. Life is too short, and now I see that there are worse things. Permission. And now as a symbol, good, a sparkle, to remind me that she is always with me. I love you, mine querida, and I know that you would have loved to see me now, free from the bad, sad for the good. So free from the bad and sad for the good. I really thought about this because, you know, getting your nose pierced at 40, I think it kind of brings about even more questions than, you know, the kids that get tattoos or piercings because we always think it's rebellious. So you're rebellious if you're 17, and then you're out of your mind if you're 40 and you want to pierce your nose or get a tattoo or some sort of expression on your body. But I've always wanted to get my nose pierced. I thought it was very sexy and beautiful. I thought it was an expression of, you know, who, and I can always see myself with it. So I don't know how to explain it. I don't have any desire to get a tattoo. Not that I, you know, think less of someone who does. It's just myself personally. It's not my thing, but that doesn't mean that artistically I don't think it's beautiful, or the art forms that I see on other people, especially when there's so much meaning behind it, I do understand it. And so in my culture, sorry for clearing my throat, I had a bad cold this week, so I do apologize. But to keep up with my 4 videos, so in my culture, as I was going to say, we do get our baby's ears pierced at 3 months. I mean, a long time ago, you get your baby's ears pierced as soon as they were born, but because vaccines have taken a place in this world, you have to wait until your baby's 3 months old to get your baby's ears pierced. And even for other people, that's kind of weird. Like, you know, you see a little baby and all of a sudden she's got bling on her ears, right? But for my Portuguese culture, it's very common. It's very normal. But for some reason, piercing your nose or getting a tattoo is very frowned upon. So my parents being, the immigrant parents that I've always talked to you about, and maybe you can relate to this and maybe you can't. I was that child that was the good child. And that's what I talked about. I didn't want to be the bad kid that didn't listen or that was disobedient. And what does that mean? That means that my household already had chaos, right? My household already had an alcoholic father. So everything that I could do to not provoke what I thought was somehow within my power to change, which as I learn now, 35 years later, that I cannot, makes me realize that I was holding my breath for 35 years. I was holding my breath and not trying to be that child that didn't break the rules, and holding back not just my breath, but my expression of who I am. But still, when I decided to get my nose pierced, I remember, I was thinking one day, and it just hit me because my mom was in my dining room and we were having a family function of some sort, whether it's a kid's birthday or whatnot. And I was being quite rude and snarky and very sarcastic. And I'm like, oh, guys, I've always wanted to have my nose pierced. And my mom was walking behind me. I think she was holding on to my sister's oldest son. And I said, but, my parents, again, using them as an excuse for them holding me hostage for my expression, correct? And I remember my mom, she somehow didn't have Alexander in her arms anymore. And she put her hands on my shoulder and she said, "You're right, sweetie. You're right. Get your nose pierced. It's not the worst thing. And we did make it sound like it was the worst thing when you were growing up. And I'm sorry for that. There's worse things. Absolutely. You should get your nose pierced." And in that moment, I could feel and hear her sincerity, but because I was acting so silly, for lack of better words, because I don't want to make this vulgar, but I was being so rude. In that moment, I was thinking, what? Oh, now you're giving me permission? Because I've been holding my breath all this time, trying to be the perfect child for you, trying to hold down a household, trying to not provoke the provocation of something that wasn't even in my own control, regardless of piercings or anything of the other sort, because I didn't know any better. But now in that age, I thought, wow. Fast forward to knowing that, officially my mom is no longer in my life. That urge again came up. I remembered that conversation, but this time I wish that I hadn't been so sarcastic and rude with my mom or so blaming. Do you know what I mean? I was blaming her for everything. I was really making her really understand that I had been waiting all this time for that one quote of, yes, you can do it. And I wonder why it is that we hold on to that, why we are so precious and so loyal to that. Because we always believe that somehow if we're the better kid, if we're the best daughter, if we can push better, if we can work harder, if we can speak nicer, I don't know. You think that somehow world will change for you. People will change for you. And now I know that's not the case. So I remember asking Alan, because I'm very scared. I was like a big chicken to get my nose pierced because I don't like to induce pain on myself. Although I have a high pain tolerance, I'm going to say I was sweaty. I was nervous. I said to Alan, I am going to get my nose pierced. I am. Because I need to put something, I need to leave a mark on my body that will remind me, that will signify. And up until that point, I didn't even understand when people got tattoos. I thought it was beautiful, but I couldn't understand that deep urge. And now I could. Now I did. And so I said a few Hail Marys for sure before I got my nose pierced, and it did hurt. It was a different kind of hurt. It was a very long, pinchy, fast, swoopy, sore, I bumped my nose kind of feeling. But when I saw the diamond sparkle, and I don't have my original piercing, I actually splurged and got a true gold and real diamond nose piercing made at a custom jeweler so that it would stay in forever. I don't want to change it. I mean, forever of whatever forever is. And every time, because now sometimes I forget I have it. Sometimes I'm like, woo, I have to be careful. But every time I do look at it in that moment where I see myself, I see my mom. I feel my mom. And I hear her words of encouragement and permission. Yeah, free from the sad, free from the bad, sad for the good. Free from the bad, because I thought that I was bad. I thought I would be bad if I had broken her rules. And sad for the good, because now I feel good. Now I understand, but it's so sad. It's bittersweet. There is a double-edged sword for sure. And so I took this photograph on purpose with my absolute favorite turquoise ring. No makeup. It's black and white, but you can see my eyelashes are not prominent. And I believe this was an early morning photo, and I just kind of posed for it. Of course, there's always posing, people. I'm not going to be fake and lie to you. I posed. Probably took a couple of shots to get this exact angle and this exact expression because I needed it to be humble but thoughtful. I needed it to express what I was feeling, and that was, this is me now. And now I describe myself as a person who has a nose piercing. And maybe to others, they can judge me and they can look at me and they can, do the same thing that my culture has done for years, that we look at other people, which we need to stop doing, which I need to learn to stop doing because I'm no better, but I'm learning, is that maybe behind that person's piercing is a story, is permission, is freedom. It's a memory. In memory of, maybe, right? And so that's what it is. That's what I can say about why I decided to get my nose pierced. And the support from my children was beautiful. The support from my husband was beautiful. I'm going to tell you that there were some family members that didn't like it. They did tell me, they're like, it's a bit trashy, Monica. It's played out. Everybody does it. So I did get some of that feedback from people, and it was hard. It was really hard for me, but I had to own it. And I own it, and I'm so proud of it, and I don't care what anyone else thinks of it. Again, I come back to self-love. What does self-love look like? What does it feel like? It's a painful nose piercing, if that's what you've been holding your breath and waiting, or it's a painful tattoo, if that's what you've been holding your breath for and waiting for. Today, I give you permission to do it. I'm telling you that you have to find your form of self-expression because it will liberate you. It will free you and it will open you up just like a butterfly coming out of its cocoon. It will really identify you to the true person that you are. And if you wait and you wait, you might miss that. And I'm so glad I got that answer back from my mom because I don't think I would have ever done it. And sadly, yes, it had to take losing my mom, which I hope that doesn't translate to all of you. Find your expression before it's too late. I do think she would be so proud to see me now. I think it would have given her some closure as a mom. I think she would have felt forgiven. I think she would have felt my strength and my courage. It would be so important to her, as I hold back the tears right now, to see that I can still choose things on my own, even though she's no longer with me. So be inspired. I laugh out of nerves and sadness. Be inspired, my friends, not only by scrapbooking and making beautiful layouts of yourself. I'm so proud of you, Kelly. If you're watching it, you left me a message and you told me that you were Monica inspired, and thank you. Yes, be Monica inspired. Fluff out your wings, ladies. Fluff them out, dust them off. Find the courage. It takes me courage too. Trust me, it's not easy. I know it's hard. I know it's tough, and I know it's bittersweet. But really, self-love heals. That's how we heal the world, by healing ourselves first. It's the airplane. When the mask of oxygen drops, you have to put it on yourself first. There's a reason why. Because if you're still holding your breath, everyone else around you will die too. So I love this layout. I love the little pops of yellow that comes into it. I love all the stamping. I love that I use the today looks like this. I just love it. I think it's awesome. I love this kit. I think it's just beautiful. I have another 4 voiceovers and layouts to share with you guys so far, and I'm so excited. Thank you so much for all of your encouragement and your feedback. I will promise you to try to keep up these 4 videos. Let me know. Tell me how you feel. Share your stories. Write them down. Speak. Breathe. Breathe, my friends. because this hobby heals. It does. It brings people together and it heals us one layout at a time, right? Be inspired. So we're down to just the stamping, and I love it. I'm so glad that I found this one. I don't know which one this is, the one that has my date stamp, and it says the remember at the top because I got my nose pierced last year in November, so it's been a full year, and I absolutely love it. No regrets. Big hugs, my sweets. Be inspired. Be inspired to do what you love because this hobby heals, and I will see you all very, very soon.